Hello and welcome to MyScience Tutorials. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the chain rule. Before we begin, if you are new around here, make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on that notification button so that you don't miss any of our latest tutorials on biology, chemistry, mathematics, and physics. So let's begin. So for us to be able to use the chain rule, let's look at this scenario. Assuming we have a function y is equal to u, or we say y is a function of u, and then u is also a function of x. For us to be able to differentiate these two functions, we need to use what? The chain rule. That is to say, y is a function of u, and then u is a function of what? X. So it means y is a function of a function. Alright, so if you want to find dy dx, or you want to differentiate these two functions, it means we need to use the chain rule, which is given to us by what? First of all, we need to differentiate the function y with respect to u. Then we get what? Dy over du. Then we multiply it by what? By the differentiation of the second function, which is what? Du over dx. So we can see that from here du will cancel this, and then we have dy dx. So by differentiating each of these functions individually and multiplying them, we can get what? The differentiation of both of the functions given to us. Alright, let's look at an example. So assuming we have a function of the form y is equal to what? Ax plus b raised to the power n, and we have to find what? Dy dx. Dy dx of this function. Dy dx will be given to us by, so this, first of all, we differentiate this function just as a whole, and then secondly we differentiate what we have in the bracket over here. By that I mean, first of all, we differentiate everything over here. By that we use the n, which is the power, to multiply the whole function, and then we subtract 1 from it, so it becomes what? N multiplied by what? Ax plus b. Then we have n minus 1. That is what? Differentiated the entire function. Then we multiply that by what? The differentiation of what is in the bracket. That is what? D dx of the function in the bracket, that is ax plus b. So this is also the same as what? The chain rule that I've given over here. So by this we can see that the dy over du, for example, is just the differentiation of the entire function, and then u being a function of x is what is in the bracket. And then the differentiation of that is what we have over here as du over dx. So let's have a look at how these questions normally look like and how we can use the chain rule to solve them. Alright, so assuming we have an example over here. Example, we have y is equal to 3x plus 4 raised to the power 5, and we are to differentiate this function. How do we go ahead to solve such a problem? So first of all, we say what? Let the function within the bracket be u. So u is equal to what? 3x plus 4. If u is equal to 3x plus 4, it means the equation we have over here at the top can be rewritten as what? Y is equal to what? U raised to the power 5, because u is now 3x plus 4. So we can see now that what? U is a function of x, and then y is a function of u, as the example that we've given over here. So hence we can use the chain rule to solve this example. So from there we know what? The chain rule says that what? Dy dx is equal to what? The product of what? Dy over du multiplied by what? Du over what? Dx, which means we need to differentiate, or we need to find what? Dy over du. So for us to find dy over du, we need to differentiate this function over here. So by differentiating this function, we get what? Dy over du is now equal to, this is u raised to the power 5. So if we differentiate this function, we use the 5 to multiply the u, and then we subtract 1 from the power. So it becomes what? 5 multiplied by what? U raised to the power 5 minus 1. And this is equal to what? 5u raised to the power 4. Now that we have dy over du, we need to differentiate the first equation that we have over here, that is what? Du over dx. So for us to get our du over dx, this is du over dx is equal to, we have 3x plus 4. If we differentiate 3x, we get what? 3. And if we differentiate 4, we get 0, so it is what? Still 3. Alright, so it means from here our dy dx of this function is equal to what? dy over du is what? 5u power 4, then multiplied by what? Du over ds is 3, so it means dy dx is equal to 3 multiplied by 5 is what? 15u power 4. So our dy dx finally is equal to, but we said initially that what? U is equal to what? That is, u is equal to what? 3x plus 4. So if we substitute this back, we get what? 15 into bracket 3x plus 4 raised to the power 4 as the differentiation of this example. So here is the trick. So if let's say you have a similar question and you want to solve it easily, this is what you can do. You can first of all differentiate this entire function. That is, let me use another color for that. Let me use blue. Alright, so first of all you can differentiate this entire function as a unit. So if we differentiate everything over here, it will become what? 5 raised to the 5 multiplied by what? 3x plus 4 then power 4 over here. Okay, so that is, we are differentiating everything over here. So we use the 5 to multiply the bracket and then we subtract 1. Then we differentiate what is in the bracket. Okay, so if we differentiate 3x plus 4, we get what? 3. So from here directly you can know that what? 3 multiplied by this will give us what? 15. Then we have 3x plus 4 raised to the power 4 as our final answer. So you can use this as a shortcut to get your answer, so that in case you are done with the work and it doesn't tally, you know that what? You've done a mistake or you've done an error somewhere. Alright, so let's proceed and look and solve a few more examples so that you can appreciate what we are doing. Alright, so let's look at an example. So the first example we want to look at is what? Y is equal to what? 2s squared minus 5x squared. So if we are to differentiate this function, we know straight ahead we are to use what? The chain rule. So first of all we say what? Let u be equal to what? 2s squared minus what? 5x over here. So it means the function y is now equal to what? U squared. So if we differentiate u with respect to what? X, we get what? Du dx, and that will be equal to what? If we differentiate 2s squared, we get what? 4x. We differentiate 5x, we get what? 5. So it means our du ds is equal to what? 4x minus 5. Alright, if we differentiate dy, that is y with respect to u, we get dy du, and this will be equal to what? 2u. So that means what? Our dy dx, or our chain rule, dy dx is equal to what? Du dx multiplied by what? Dy du. So from here our dy dx is equal to the product of what? 2u and what? 4x minus 5. Alright, but we know that what? But we know u is what? 2s squared minus 5x. So if we do the substitution, we get what? 2 into bracket 2s squared minus 5x, then multiplied by what? 4x minus 5. Alright, so all we need to do from here is just to expand the bracket and then get our answer. So our dy dx becomes what? This multiplied by this will give us what? 4x squared minus what? 10x, then multiplied by what? 4x minus 5. So our dy dx is equal to, from here we just use we just multiply through everything over here. So we have 4x squared multiplied by 4x, so we get what? 16x cubed. So 4x squared multiplied by 5, we get what? Negative 5, sorry, we get negative 20x squared. So we have negative 10 multiplied by what? 4x, we get what? Negative 40x squared. Then we have negative 10 multiplied by what? Negative 5, we get what? Positive 50x. So our dy dx is equal to, this is negative 2x, negative 20x squared, negative 40x squared. So we have 16x cubed minus what? 60x squared plus what? 50x as our answer for differentiating this function above. Alright, let's look at another example. So the second example is what? Y is equal to what? 3x plus 1 raised to the power 7. So we know how this goes. We said let u be the function over here, that is 3x plus 1, and then that means our u is now what? Our y is now what? U raised to the power 7. Then we know the chain rule says what? Dy dx is equal to what? Du dx multiplied by what? Dy du. That means what? We need to differentiate this. If we differentiate u with respect to x over here, we get what? Du dx, and that is equal to, we differentiate 3x plus 1, we get what? Just 3. Then we differentiate this, so we have dy du. If we differentiate u power 7, we get what? 7u power 6. That is, we use the 7 to multiply the u, then we subtract 1 from the power. So from here we know that our dy dx is just the product of these two values. So we have 3 multiplied by 7u power 6. So it means dy dx is equal to what? 21u power 6. Bet what? U. So from here we know bet u is equal to what? 3x plus 1. So it means our dy dx is equal to what? 21 into bracket 3x plus 1 all raised to the power 6 as the differentiation for the second example. So let's have a look at one final example and then we end this tutorial. Alright, so the third example we want to look at is what? Y is equal to 3x power 4 minus 5 all raised to the power 7. Alright, so we say let what is in the bracket be u. So we have 3x power 4 minus 5. So it means y is equal to what? U power 7. That is replacing everything over here with the u that we said let it be over here. Alright, so as usual we know dy dx is the product of what? Du dx multiplied by what? Dy du. So let's differentiate the first one. We differentiate du with respect to what? X. We get du dx, and then if we differentiate this, we use the 4 to multiply the 3. We get 12x power what? 3. Then minus 5, we differentiate, that is 0, so it's still what? 12x cubed. Then our dy du is equal to what? 7u power 6. That is differentiating y is equal to what? U raised to the power 7. So from here we know that our dy dx is equal to 12x cubed multiplied by what? 7u power 6. Alright, so from here we know dy dx, sorry, let me use this, dy dx is equal to, if we do the multiplication, 12 multiplied by 7 will give us what? 84. So we have 84s cubed multiplied by what? U power 6. So just do the substitution. We have 84s cubed. Then we know that u is what we have over here. So multiplied by what? 3x power 4 minus 5 all raised to the power 6 as our final answer. So this is how we go around, or this is how we use the chain rule to solve or differentiate a function. So thank you so much for watching, and if you find this tutorial helpful, kindly subscribe to our channel. So thank you once again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.